Welcome back to Eye on Akwa Ibom. We've been looking at Governor Akpabio's uncommon transformation agenda for the state. Before the break, we took a look at the power sectors and other areas in which the state government has been developing itself. Now we're taking a look at infrastructure, which you can see taking place all behind me, particularly road transformation. Stay tuned for more Eye on Akwa Ibom. A reliable road and transportation network is key to facilitating economic development. In this area, Akwa Ibom has been a trailblazer, having constructed over 250 roads covering more than 700 kilometers. The state has also invested heavily in other infrastructure areas, such as the initiation of the Ibom Industrial Project, which will be home to a deep-sea port as well as a free trade zone.
In the area of infrastructure, this is where I think you probably will score us 100%, not even 99, because the entire country is shouting that the governor of Akwa Ibom said has undertaken uncommon transformation. How do we cap it? I can summarize it for you. You go and see WikiLeaks. When they were leaking all the reports about various governments around the world, what did they leak about Akwa Ibom? They said the governor is undertaking infrastructural revolution, that is a government to watch. So I think in the last count, my people will give you the details. Out of what I may call positive anger, we unleashed development on our people. We've done well over 295 urban roads across the state. We have intervened in at least 5 major federal highways, over 200 kilometers. In totality, we have constructed and asphalted at least 1,000 kilometers of roads under 5 years. We have done major flyovers. At least 4 of them have been commissioned.
The Ibom Industrial City Project, what can you share with us about the development of that project? Why is it so key to your administration at this time, and what steps have you made so far?
The Ibom Industrial Project is a concept that I believe will jumpstart the economy of this Niger Delta. And the post-amnesty project of the federal government, we believe should include Ibom. Because Ibom Industrial City, Ibom Industrial Project generally, is a concept where we are looking at the construction of a deep sea port, which we believe will complement the efforts of the port at Apapa and Tinkan. And we have a fantastic water draft in that area of about 15 to 17 meters without dredging. And you are looking at, within 2 to 3 nautical miles, you are already looking at the ocean. So the channel that would take very large vessels, large ocean liners to the port, will not need yearly dredging. It will just be minimal dredging, maybe once in 7 years. And so that's one of the best locations for a deep sea port for Nigeria. It's not a sentimental issue. And I don't even know how we missed that in the past. But I think that the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan is very determined to do things right. That's why that concept of Ibom Industrial City has come up. Now, we are just saying that if you have a deep sea port there, and then you have the entirety of that place covered as a free trade zone, there are a lot of investors that will be interested in building other industries, because normally it will have multiplier effects.
No form of economic development would be possible without a focus on agriculture development. Here I am at Ibiaya Oran, an area dedicated to the state's agriculture sector and its further development. So far, Akwa Ibom has been able to empower 3,000 youths under its integrated farmers scheme and employ a further 4,000 under the commercial agriculture program.
We are bounded by waters all over, and I think we can do a lot in the fishing sector. And then, of course, we have land, which is also very, very fertile for things like palm produce. I understand it was the seedling that was taken from here to Malaysia that resulted in Malaysia becoming one of the highest palm produce countries in the world. And I think we can go back to them and plead that they should give us the latest seedling, and we come here and then and replant them. We shouldn't be ashamed to do so. So we have the land, and the agriculture is an area I think will also help us. And agriculture remains one of the greatest employers of labor, and I think this is where thousands of people can also benefit, in addition to Nigeria being able to feed itself. So outside Akwa Ibom feeding itself, I would like to see Akwa Ibom feed Nigeria. And I would also like to see my state export certain agricultural products outside, if we can produce them to meet international standard.
The aim of this uncommon transformation agenda is to turn Akwa Ibom into Nigeria's choice destination, particularly for investors and developers. Akwa Ibom State's main policy thrust on investment is a private sector-driven economy that will lead to the full industrialization of the state. To this effect, the state government has put in place several developmental policies that will encourage such an economy, whilst also stimulating the expansion of the state's domestic production capacity, improving the production of goods and services, and creating employment. The state is open for investment in all areas, most specifically transport, where there are plans for a deep sea port, an MRO hangar, and an interstate rail line, to mention a few. Other key areas of investment interest are power and the oil and gas sector. Now, moving to investment opportunities in Akwa Ibom State, what for you are the key areas with the greatest investment potential within this area?
The opportunities are enormous in the state. First of all, Akwa Ibom is an oil-producing state. And because you are oil-producing, it means that the first thing that will readily come to mind will be the possibility of building refineries. Nigeria is still importing refined products from outside, and yet we produce a lot of crude oil. We have major companies here. Akwa Ibom is also sitting on gas. We have gas reservoir. So thank God we are building gas processing plants along with the private sector, but there is still a lot to be done if the country can become self-sufficient in gas production, because right now the gas supply is not even enough. We should not even be importing gas. We should not be importing petrol products. So that's the first thing that the country really needs and is not available. It is not a good idea for Nigeria to import petroleum products from a place like Niger that maybe just discovered crude oil 2 years ago, and we've been in the business for so long. That is one area of what I may call felt need. The other area will be in the marine sector. That deep sea port project is going to be a massive project that I believe can employ over 10,000 people. And it's an area that will also decongest a lot of the situation we see in Lagos. Now, why am I so worried about that? It is because sometimes you bring in pharmaceuticals and they stay at the port for weeks on end to birth. And sometimes the drugs get expired while they're inside the ship. And then, of course, with the next thing, the consequent health hazard to Nigerians when they eventually flood the market with expired drugs. Because of what? The fact that we are no longer an attractive destination for shippers because of the lead time it takes before the ship is discharged. So that deep sea port project for me is also a very major one. And why is it so? Why when we have other ports in Nigeria, why the Ibaka? It's because that is one of the best channels that can allow a large ocean vessel to come in and go freely without thinking of dredging the channel, without a possibility of accident. And there are so many, you may have a lot of ports around, but not all the ports will be as viable as others because of their location. So this is strategic. It will help also in terms of search and rescue. It will also help in terms of being able to save the Gulf of Guinea. So for me, that's another area that I think investors should look at. And then if you look at the aviation industry, I don't think there is any government in the whole of West Africa today that is investing so much in building a maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility. And this is costing us hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's almost completed. So it's an area that would like investors to come in. Major corporations that are engaged in these checks, C checks, A checks, and others on aircraft. It will help a lot, even in terms of control of air crashes and accidents. Because sometimes some of these minor things that could have been checked on aircraft, you have to fly them to Ethiopia or fly them to London. And then at the end, airlines will continue to manage until they end up crashing. You are aware that we don't have a good history in this country. That just a few weeks ago, we lost 153 people who were on board Dana Airline. And of course, a lot of others died on the ground. So that maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility already there is an area I think investors should come in. And then I would like to talk about it. Wherever I go to, I would like to sell it because of the fact that it has direct relevance to the lives of Nigerians. It will help a lot to preserve life. It will help a lot to minimize air accidents. It will even prevent air accidents. So that's an area because health is wealth. If you don't have, you can build all this infrastructure. If you do not have people to use them, then they are useless to the society.
The industrialization of Akwa Ibom State is indeed well underway. With multiple investment opportunities and a fast developing economy, one thing is clear: Akwa Ibom is open for business.